putting up, or I've probably put up videos before I posted this on working on this. It's not a 100% step-by-step, but, you know, it gives you a general idea. You can also go to the video that I'll be putting up, which is on the assembly, disassembly of this knife. That'll give you a little, you know, that'll give you some more insight on some different things I did. But anyway, let's get down to it. I made this video last night, and then I realized, holy fuck, the bolster on this side is like a 1/4 inch longer. It came like down to here than the bolster on this side. So I had to go back outside, recut it. Luckily, I had just enough linen micarta to make a second one, because obviously, you know, you can see, let's see about how short that was. Something about like that, you know. So this is no good, which is kind of a shame. But anyway, carried this today, despite one bolster being longer than the other. It feels fucking great in the hand. I just love how this feels. This aluminum, bead blasted aluminum, it feels soft like suede. And obviously linen micarta is going to feel soft like suede. At least mine does. And, you know, I did the jimping up here, which the liner has jimping, but I jimped the bolster, which I actually, even though it looks maybe to some kind of crazy, I really enjoy it. I really do. I mean, that jimping, it's not, but it's enough, you know what I mean? Also last night, this wasn't done, but I went ahead and polished the liners, because, you know, I put tiny little nicks in them and stuff from, you know, going around with my Dremel tracing all this stuff. So I went ahead and did that. Now you can still see the bottom bolster's thinner than the top one, but it's not really a big deal. And these are rounded pretty well. And that's kind of like beveled, but I am going to look into titanium, because I gotta be honest with you, this has got some weight to it now, especially in the front. I mean, even though that's aluminum, and it could just be me, but it feels like, you know, wow, this has some girth to it, you know? Not girth like thick, but just heaviness. Let me compare that to my Bulldog. Granted, this is a full-size knife, and the, you know, Bulldog is 1/4 inch or something shorter, but it could just be me. No, it does have a little heft to it. Anyway, yeah. Now, you're going to notice, you know, from using it, you can see little, like, scuffs or wear. But it's no big deal. You can always, whenever you take this apart someday, just go back and bead blast that. No big deal. No big deal whatsoever. Stainless clip. I think that, I mean, this knife just has to wear some Crusader gear. And in the future, I will probably look into making my own Crusader shield and cross and affixing it to this pocket clip. I've also thought about putting a cross on the bolster around the pivot pin, like etching or laser engraving or whatever. Maybe. Or maybe put a cross this way. I don't know. This, not that this really is a big issue, but this was kind of sharp. And as a matter of fact, it's still got some sharp on that side. But I took it to a gray buff wheel at work and tried to knock down a lot of that sharpness because it catches and drags in my pocket. I didn't like that, but not that that has anything to do with this knife. I just think this is cool. Yeah, it's not titanium. It's not Emerson handmade. But I did this in my garage. And it just, I did it. And that's just, I guess, what I like the most about it. Yeah, it looks just pretty cool. How long did it take? I know that's going to be like the major question I'm going to get asked. And to be honest with you, it took twice as long as doing just solid scales. Like, for example, this bulldog, if I can get it over here. I've done scales so much now. I could get a set of bulldog scales done, or mini 15 scales done, in about an hour. Maybe an hour and 20 minutes. Okay. That bolster job took every bit. And again, my first time too, so let's keep that in mind. But the first bolster job probably took me every bit of 5 to 8 hours. And you gotta first of all, you gotta plan it, you gotta lay out where you want your holes, you gotta drill and tap those 3 holes. And you gotta cut your bolsters and shape them, and even though that's aluminum, it doesn't Dremel. Like it's not as easy to Dremel obviously as micarta or G10. It's a real, I'm telling you. And then, if you step up to something like titanium, I was wanting to use some type of a tool steel or probably Damascus. It's not going to cut near as easy as aluminum, but after knowing what I know now, I could probably do it start to finish, ready to carry, in 5 to 6 hours. And there are people out there that could do it much quicker, maybe 2 or 3 hours, maybe 4. But, every time you do it, you just learn something else, and you learn something else, and you learn something else. And so I would say if I did it maybe 2 more times, I could bring it down to about 3 or 4 hours, but it's not easy. I'm telling you right now. And I probably didn't even do it the right way, which, the right way could make it longer, could make it quicker, But anyway, that's it. That's my bolster job. I'm satisfied. There's not a whole lot about it I could nitpick. Everything that I would nitpick about is pretty superficial. You know, like for example, you can see that piece of aluminum sticks out just a bit. Just a bit. Nothing I would cut myself on. But just a bit. Okay, no big deal. No big deal, you know, and I cut that short. You can see it there under my thumb. The bolster. No big deal. Aluminum's cheap. When I'm ready, I can make another one. You know, no big deal. And then, like I said, this side, you know, obviously is a little... The side you're viewing on, your left, is a little thinner than your right. Again, not a big deal. But you can see it there. I could always skim that down. Yeah. Little short right there. No big deal. So it's not a whole lot of like super things, you know. But if it was a 6, I'm sure if you bought this and it was a 6, you'd have a freak out. I probably would too, but for a garage bolster job, man, I'm singing and dancing. And I hope you enjoyed it. Unfortunately, I couldn't capture everything step by step like a how-to guide. You know, I don't even know what I captured. I haven't even pulled the videos off my phone yet to start editing it. Well, by the time you see this, that video will be up, so I will know, and you know, maybe it'll be up. Maybe if I didn't get enough footage, I won't even put it up, or if I skip too many steps. But anyway, long story short, every time I flick this open and I hold this thing, I love it. It's got a feel that's better than a 7. It's not so brick feeling because the contour goes around. Okay? You can probably see that. It's not flat and then chamfered. I don't even have those 7 scales sitting here, but you know, it doesn't have that. It's everything is rounded really well. And the 7 had good, for me, a good feel to begin with. Now it just has an even better feel. You know, it's great. So, you know, with that being said, I'll catch you around. And don't, you know, I'm not, even though I really like this, I'm not settled. I'm going to try again. I would in some way like to get carbon fiber on the back. I just haven't figured out what bolster to use up front. If it'll be a titanium, if I'll do a heat treated steel and leave it raw heat treated, don't know. But I would like to work carbon fiber in, and I would like to work gray. The exact same gray that's on my Bulldog, which it looks black now, but it's gray. And I thought about gray in the back, gray titanium, and calling it the Ghost. I seen a Ghost Roadhouse bolstered, obviously. If you ever see a Ghost Roadhouse, look it up, look up pictures of it. That's where I seen it. And the Ghost Roadhouse blows me away. It is super, super cool. So maybe I'll do like a mock Ghost Roadhouse, but I'll just call it the Ghost 7. That'd be cool. But anyway, I gotta cut this short. It's getting too long. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you know, can take something away from this and, you know, Maybe you liked it, maybe you don't. But anyway, catch you on the next one. See ya.